when I was diagnosed, you know, I wasn't thinking like how a normal person would be thinking. You know, I felt like I will recover. I was very blessed with the knowing that just this feeling like, you know, I was going to be okay. And it's not something I actually share with people at that point because I think people is going to think that I'm crazy. My thinking was, if I lose my will and my mind, you lost 50% of the battle out of the door. Everybody is so different, and you know, their thoughts and belief systems can affect you as an individual.
Hi everyone. So I'm really glad that we have Jessica with us here today. And Jessica is a cancer survivor who has fought and won the battle. So she's here to share her story on resilience with us today. So thank you for your time, Jessica.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
So first of all, maybe you could start by telling us when were you diagnosed with cancer and what was your diagnosis?
So I was diagnosed on May 20th May 2014, and I was diagnosed with acute leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia. So it's kind of an advanced cancer.
Okay, and so when you were diagnosed, what actually went through your mind when they informed you of the diagnosis?
Okay, to be honest, I just took it as it is. I was just like, okay, the doctor came in, I was like, you're diagnosed with leukemia. And I was just, okay.
But what were the events that were leading up to the diagnosis?
You mean in terms of my symptoms and all?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I was very exhausted. And then I think it started in December 2013. Right, and so the symptoms started then, and then I had a lot of bruises, like really huge bruises, and then I was bleeding through my menstruals, like it was not stopping. So it really escalated in April when I was just really bleeding profusely, and then I went for a checkup, and I was diagnosed, I think within 2 weeks. No, actually I was I had to go to, I got the report, I went to the hospital, diagnosed within actually a day of being in hospital.
Okay, and then subsequently, what kind of treatment did you go through?
So the doctor said that if you don't do chemotherapy, you're gonna die. That's what he like directly said to my face. Like, if you don't do chemotherapy now, you're gonna die like in 2 weeks. And I was like, okay. So I had to go through chemotherapy, even though I didn't really want to, because there are many things said about chemotherapy that's not great. So I went through 3 cycles of chemotherapy. You're supposed to go through 5, and then a bone marrow transplant. I didn't opt for the bone marrow transplant, even though I had an exact match for my sister. Yeah.
Okay. And did you suffer from
Side
effects?
Absolutely. It's horrible. Very, very bad side effects from chemotherapy, which was one of the main reasons why I stopped. I decided to stop chemotherapy after the 3rd cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so during those tough times, who and what did you turn to? Did you join a support group, or did you mainly get support from just your family and friends?
I was very careful with support groups because I felt like they could work against me because of how they are programmed to be like, you know, like I really believe that if I want to recover, I had to have my own judgments, my own thinking, and my own beliefs. And if you're not careful and you just join a support group, or you know, you rely on certain kind of people, I think that will, at that point, I felt like it would work against me, and wouldn't sway.
You have to make the choices.
Yeah, I have to make
what
they say and what they are afraid of, because they're afraid I'm going to die, right? Because when I was diagnosed, you know, I wasn't thinking like how a normal person would be thinking. You know, I felt like I will recover.
Wow.
You know, and it's not something I actually share with people at that point because I think people is going to think that I'm crazy. But that's where I think, because I had that feeling that I was going to be okay, and that I had to be very careful with who I allow in during my recovery period because of what I felt and what I know.
So what was the thing that really kept you going? Is the belief that you will get well?
First of all, I mean, I was very blessed with the knowing that when I was diagnosed, it was like, okay, I was diagnosed with leukemia. Yes, it is acute, advanced, but just this feeling like, I was going to be okay. And that was really what kept me going, even though, doctors were saying, no, you if you don't do chemotherapy, you're going to die, or there is no cure. Statistically, there is no cure for leukemia. But I was really suffering from chemotherapy, and I was like, look, and to myself, like, there must be a way that I could heal without chemotherapy that was causing me to suffer. So it was just that belief, like, okay, I'm going to find that cure. If not, I'm going to find a way to recover without it. And it's just that really like working on my own brain and being very careful with, the rest of the world, because being very careful about influence by others, like resilience or the mental brain. It's like you really have to be like, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm sticking to it. But then again, obviously, people will say that you're irresponsible. But then you have to take responsibility. If I'm gonna die, then I have to be, then I've made the decision that, okay, maybe then I might die, It's taking responsibility, taking ownership of the decisions that you make as well.
So at the end, you opt for alternative therapy?
Yes, because that was my wish. I wanted a treatment that wasn't going to really, that wasn't going to harm the body. Because I felt chemotherapy wasn't really helping. I think by the third cycle, I felt like I was losing my mind because the pain was so bad. In that my thinking was, if I lose my will and my mind, you lost 50% of the battle out of the door, And if I'm going to have to win this game, then I need to keep my mind in check, because I was already feeling really uncomfortable and fighting, like losing the will already, I mean, if you lose your will, I don't know how you're going to fight anything. And it's not just for illness. I think it's for any challenges that one goes through in life.
Yep. What did you learn from this experience?
Well, first of all, that it's very important to follow your own intuition. Don't be afraid of what you stand for as a person. Being really, to have the courage to go look, this is what I believe in. This is what I feel is right for me. And just okay, I'm going to do it. And whether you fail or not, it's kind of like another issue. It's more like, I'm going to do it, and I take responsibility for that, and really being very careful with who you let in, because everybody is so different, and, their thoughts and belief systems can affect you as an individual. Especially for me, I had a belief that I will recover, right? But I can tell you at that point, 90% of the people around me did not believe that. I mean, they won't say they don't believe that, but, it's like you say you believe it, but inside of you is like, I'm not sure if she's going to survive. And I can sense that even from my partner at that point. I felt like he didn't really believe I was going to recover. And I was like, okay, I had to shelter myself. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I really believe that I will find a way, and okay, I'll do this, even if I do it by myself, kind of thing. Yeah, so it's about really okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be really courageous and take that step forward, regardless of what anybody say.
So you hang on to your belief and you did it?
I hang on to, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now that as a survivor, how do you live your life differently?
I think I'm just a lot more truthful to myself about what is important to me. And I am not afraid of standing up for what I believe in. And not wasting my time. Because when I was in hospital, it's like 180 degrees change of my life. Where one day I had my career, I had money in the bank, and I had so many friends. I had long hair, And the next day it's like gone, because when I started chemotherapy, I lost my hair in 2 weeks. By the first cycle, I lost my hair. This is like new hair. So it was longer and it was, like curly and really nice, and I lost all of it.
Your new hair look amazing.
Thank you so much. So I think now it's about like, okay, let's just say I have something I want to do today. And, for example, something very simple. Like, we women love to diet and watch our food. I was so afraid of, allowing myself to eat. And now it's no longer the case. It's like, look, if I want to have an ice cream today, I'm going to eat an ice cream today. Because I don't know if tomorrow I can have it or not. I want to eat like McDonald's. I will eat McDonald's today. Do not tell me no. Yeah. I'll just do what I want. But, you just counter check. You need to take care of yourself. But you don't know what's going to happen. So
Right.
It's good advice, right?
Yeah, I love that. So I think thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.